We're live. Anyone watching, welcome to the channel. It's something new I'm trying. Hopefully it works out well. But these are some disturbing TikToks that we found that we put together for you to watch with us. Hope you enjoy it. Like and subscribe if you want. I want to pray for Texas, all the stuff going on there. I hope everybody's okay. It's a sad situation. And in our description, there are some links if you would like to help donate to the page or anything, or to the channel. But I'm going to go ahead and get this one started. Let's go.
Next tonight, new developments in the chaotic shopping mall shooting outside of Atlanta. Police arresting 2 suspects after shots were fired inside of the mall, sending holiday shoppers into a panic. Authorities say the shooting started as an argument in the food court and then escalated. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche.
All right.
Tonight, 2 teenagers arrested after a terrifying mall shooting that sent holiday shoppers running for their lives.
Everybody is running outside. They're advising that shooting's happening downstairs.
Dramatic video highlights the level of chaos and confusion Saturday at the Cumberland Mall near Atlanta.
I'm just thanking God I'm still alive.
Watch as parents, fearing the worst, shield children, some tossing chairs and dropping shopping bags in a rush for cover.
There was a lady with her children. She was in pure pandemonium. She didn't know what was going on. There was an elderly woman on the floor.
Officers carrying assault rifles swarmed the scene, searching for the gunman. Police say an argument between a group of men in the food court escalated, leaving 1 shot. Police have arrested 18-year-old Zaire Danulal, charging him with aggravated assault, and 19-year-old Jawir Pons, charging him with reckless conduct and carrying a concealed weapon.
Luckily, it was not an active shooter incident, but it did have a high response out of abundance of caution due to the area shoppers.
Police are calling this an isolated incident and say the victim is recovering from non-life-threatening injuries. Tonight, that mall has reopened.
What's the deal with all these videos popping up claiming that allegedly in parts of Georgia and South Carolina, people had their TV broadcasts interrupted for about 3 minutes? This happened just in the last couple of days. And during that time, a message supposedly from the Anunnaki aired, acknowledging the current chaos among humans, warning of severe weather events coming, and then saying that they were going to help. And then right after that, people in these same areas reported seeing fireballs streaking across the sky, like multiple reports. So yes, this sounds completely crazy, and I am skeptical, but I'm also open-minded enough to ask. There actually was a TV broadcast interruption in southern England in 1977 where a group claimed to be Ashtar Galactic Command, and they talked about human awakening. So I'm being open-minded. Was it something like that? Has anyone seen this alleged Anunnaki broadcast firsthand? Do you have video of it or know someone who does? Drop any links, videos, or stories in the comments. I'm actually very curious.
That one right there I've heard about a couple days and kind of wonder about it. If you got one of those, let me know, because I don't know.
RS 31078, cannibalism. Might seem kind of gruesome. It kind of is. I'm going to give you a little background of what got me to this position to run this bill. So back in 2019, I heard that Washington State was starting to do human composting, and that disturbed me. I wanted to address this because what I didn't want to see is bags of compost with human bone fragments. I want to stop it getting into the human food supply. I was on a plane this summer, watched a video of some food show, and the 3 contestants tasted the food and they had to guess what was in it. It was some kind of a sausage, and one of the options they told these people that was in the food was human flesh. The way our society's going and the direction we're going, this is going to be normalized. There's only one state in the union that it is illegal, cannibalism is illegal, and that is Idaho. Already illegal for someone to do it themselves, but it is not illegal for them to give it to somebody unknowingly. So what that language does is captures it getting into the food sources. That's really my concern.
Would you want to include on line 11 flesh, blood, bones, and organs?
I do believe flesh would cover the organs. Hopefully we don't ever have to add bones to this. But I was doing that incrementalism thing. I mean, if it's not even illegal to feed it to someone, so I was thinking like maybe next year we come back and go the next step.
They told us he was dead. They showed us a cell, a bedsheet, a broken hyoid bone. But what followed wasn't justice, it was the biggest cover-up since 9/11. Now, stunning revelations out of Israel have blown the lid off the official story. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself because Jeffrey Epstein never died. Insiders say Epstein, always an intelligence asset, wasn't just a predator, he was a weapon, a blackmailer, a handler, a tool of the CIA and Mossad. And when exposure threatened the operation, they didn't kill him, they extracted him. Body swap staged death. Destination, Israel. Now he's back in business, running blackmail ops for Israeli intelligence on behalf of the globalists. And here's where it gets dark. Top US intelligence officials, once screaming for justice, are suddenly going quiet. Or worse, changing their tune. Straight-faced denials that defy reason, evasive answers, and a sudden synchronized silence. They're not covering up a suicide, they're covering for a ghost. Because if Epstein was working for them, or had dirt on them, what does that really say about who they really serve? If the most powerful people are being watched, what chance do you have?
Wow.
Here we go. Oh my God.
How was somebody in that cage and that shark jumped in there?
He's in the cage. He's in the cage.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Was there anybody in there? Who's in the cage? Nobody's in the cage.
Oh, there was somebody in there.
Somebody in the cage? Yes, somebody's in the cage. Somebody's in the cage. Oh my God. It has to be Ming. It's Ming.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I couldn't imagine. Wow.
How did the cage go?
That's wild.
Oh.
Be going buying a lottery ticket now.
Are you hurt?
It's crazy.
You're not hurt, right?
Oh my, that is crazy.
That's wild.
I don't think we can afford to assume that the people who are charged with our public health any longer have our best interests at heart all the time.
I say, why would a doctor not want to know more about something that could save a life or prevent a disease? I don't understand.
The AAP is financed by the drug companies. Medical schools are financed by the drug companies. This is a huge business. Vaccines are the largest growing division of the pharmaceutical industry. $13 billion.
They control medical schools.
For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on.
Everyone thought he was just joking.
Making stuff up. Yeah. Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows? Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon? Talk about a fish story. Yeah. Man, and they're buying it. Okay. I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're
I
celebrating.
mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons.
in
Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming
She's lost.
possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons.
That freaked me out.
That sounded close. That was close. That's a close one. That's a close one. It's getting closer.
Go, some more motherfucking fireballs flying from the motherfucking sky. Ain't gonna say a meteorite. I ain't never seen this many motherfucking meteorites in this span of time happening every other motherfucking day before in my motherfucking life, dog. And all these big ass booms and the rumors of the Galactic Federation war going on around this motherfucker and the alleged return of the Anunnaki. I got motherfucking questions out this motherfucker. Why is it so motherfucking hot? Why are we having all these motherfucking floods every motherfucking well? Why all these big ass booms going on in the motherfucking sky? And why all this shit falling from the motherfucking sky all at one time? This summer been crazy work, especially June. That's why you ain't seeing me on this motherfucker. I've been pondering some shit. The fuck is going on, dog? It's too much for a motherfucker. That's a big fact. I know if it is a galactic war going on, you motherfuckers better not fuck up Earth. Y'all better keep that shit in the sky. That's a big fact. I don't want debris and all that shit falling down, hit motherfucking house and shit like that. Y'all better figure that shit out real quick. Because I ain't got no parts of that motherfucking beef y'all got going on up in that motherfucking sky, dog. Or in that motherfucking ocean. That's a big fact. Every other motherfucking day, you got the Human Torch flying around this motherfucker. Every other motherfucking day. And I'm looking through videos, looking at all in the motherfucking sky and shit. I'm telling you right now, if Superman fall in my motherfucking backyard, I'm calling the men in black. And I don't even want to call them motherfuckers because I think they clones too, dog. So I don't even fucking know. Damn. If you do see one of these motherfuckers and they fall in your backyard, I'll pay you to grab that motherfucker. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell the motherfucking government. You grab that motherfucker somehow, some way, and somehow, some way get that motherfucker to me, and I'll pay you for it. That's a big fact. We gonna figure this shit out together, dog. That's a big fact. Peace.
If you don't believe that this is all scripted, hasn't been all plotted out, take Trump's words. He's the one that tells you that they already knew all this.
They called us up and they said, listen, we have no choice. We have to hit you because we have our own self-respect. They told us that don't be concerned. We're going to launch 18 missiles at your military base, but none of them will hit the base. These are very accurate missiles. These are missiles that essentially never miss. They're very reliable, very accurate.
See, that stuff don't make any sense to me. Like, why would you waste the missiles and warn them that you're going to do it just so you can say, we retaliated? Makes sense to me.
What is even going on today? Someone set a fire in Idaho to use to ambush the first responders. So far, they're saying, I believe now it's 10 firefighters that were shot and 2 police officers that were shot. I'm about to show you the audio of that ambush, but it's so weird because we had the explosion in Washington, D.C., which turned out to be an Amazon truck, but something very weird happened right after that happened. And then we've had this guy threatening us for days now, getting deleted and making new accounts, counting down our days. And we're starting to see strange fires pop up everywhere like Turkey, like everything is on fire. Here's the audio real quick, then we'll get to all the other stuff.
Some law enforcement right now, there's an active shooter zone. They're shot. BC3's down, BC1's down. Everybody shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here.
It's extremely strange. It's also extremely strange how when this Amazon vehicle blew up, they say that we start having all these threats coming from people in certain places. It's very, very strange. This guy being taken down every day, making new accounts, still threatening the U.S. is very strange. While some sources say there is something odd about July 4th this year. I really don't know, you guys, but something's extremely strange about setting a fire in Idaho to use to ambush first responders. I'll update y'all a little more in a little bit.
Texas.
I think I found one. What's that, you ask? A fallen angel. And I'm not even kidding. First, I want to show you something. I asked Google, are fallen angels here on Earth? Yes, fallen angels are believed to be here on Earth, but not in their original angelic forms. Now I want to show you something. And maybe you've seen this, and maybe you haven't. There are all sorts of historic pictures that match up to current day celebrities. But I want to show you one in particular. I want to focus on a very specific one, a lesser known one you might not even know. This one, right here. His name is Sam Tripoli, and he is the host of the most popular conspiracy podcast in the whole world. And this is Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon, who lived during the 1500s and was said to sometimes be immortal or to have maybe faked his death. Francis Bacon, who is potentially known for starting Freemasonry. Francis Bacon, who looks exactly like Sam Tripoli. And maybe right now you're saying, you did this video already, I've seen it, but hold on, because I found some very interesting and telling new things. And first, just in case you didn't see the first video, let me show you how much Francis Bacon and Sam Tripoli just happened to look exactly alike. And Sam, well, he happened to mention my name on an episode where they were talking about Francis Bacon. And I'm known for the guy that recognizes when people look alike. And look at their noses even. If those aren't exact noses and eyes, I don't know what is. And here's where the oh so fun part comes into play. Because, well, you know how they like to tell us the truth, right? They will tell us the truth. They kind of have to. It's part of their arrangement. They got to tell us so they don't impact our free will. Kind of like they do here with devil horns, and we'll get to the Raiders hat, but Los Angeles, and it's upside down. It's a falling Los Angels, falling angels.
Weird, ain't it, being upside down?
The Raiders hat? Well, the Raiders hat always has the one eye symbolism. So like I said, they have to tell us, but this is the fun part. His name is Samuel Tripoli. Samuel Tripoli. And let me show you something. And remember, I'm saying he's Francis Bacon. So Sam Tripoli. And when you look at bacon, there's a type of bacon called AAA pork bacon. It's a type of bacon that's considered high quality. So you wouldn't call that 3A, but maybe triple A. So triple A just happens to be a type of bacon. Triple A, or you could say triple E if you're, cutting corners and saying it a little differently. Triple A, triple E, triple A, triple E, but there's more. Remember, they have to tell us. And he is Francis, and he is Samuel. And well, Samuel Francis just happened to invent the spork. The spork. Now, get rid of the S. Samuel Francis Bacon, Samuel AAA Bacon.
Wow.
And he invented the spork, the pork, the spork. They're telling us right in plain sight. And remember this part where I asked Google about the fallen angels being here, and it says, yes, they're wandering the earth and seeking to tempt humanity. Well, do you know what Sam advertises a lot on his podcast? Why don't we take a listen?
Guys, we are in dire straits right now. The world population is plummeting, and the only way to fix it is to hump our way out, okay? Rock hard boners. Let me tell you about Blue Chew and why they love America. Let me tell you.
It just so happens Sam wants me to come explain this on his show. Who is that pictured with me? He knows it's Francis Bacon. He knows he's Francis Bacon. He wouldn't have me come explain this on his ever so popular show if I was just talking nonsense. He literally wouldn't have me come talk about utter nonsense on his show. He wants people to know. He wants me to explain it, and he wants to say, that's a very interesting theory. Wink, wink, wink. But I don't agree with it. Wink, wink, wink. He wants me on his show, so people know what I'm saying is true.
It's crazy.
But of course, all this for entertainment, people. I'm sure these are just rock-on symbols, and that has no symbolism, an upside-down angelus.
Why would it be upside
And the
down?
one eye there, it's just
I
a
have no
Raiders
idea.
fan. Just like I know there's also no true conspiracy to hide how much of a spiritual realm we're in, to hide the fact that God exists, because if you knew God exists, you would know the Bible was true. If you knew the Bible was true, you would know fallen angels are true. And if you knew fallen angels were true, well, you would know them when you see them, like I know them when I see them. And remember this whole thing in the beginning? Well, it's part of the reason they faked their deaths. That's Andy Kaufman faked his death. And as Nicolas Cage, because you would see that he's not aging like a normal human being. You would see things that didn't seem right to you. You would see things that might wake you up to the fact you're being lied to. You would see things that might open you up to the Heavenly Father smiling down, hoping you will just look up to him and say thank you for this beautiful world we live in and this beautiful life. And it would cause you to not fall for the blue chew temptations that these fallen angels are getting most of us to fall for. Entertainment only, people.
Right on.
Have a good day.
Sometimes he puts things together that a lot of people don't think about. I like watching him. Some of them are pretty convincing.
Oh, and I'll let it finish coming perfectly.
Let me know what you think about him. That windstorm was wild, wasn't it? It's crazy. Something's going on. I think we need to look at our sun just a little bit more careful. It's got a lot to do with all this. Kind of like how the solar eclipse, if you look back on the map where both of them went through the United States, right there in Texas is where the flooding happened. They kind of crisscrossed right there. Go take a look at it. It's wild. It's a lot of people. It's terrible. People acting like this stuff's normal. It ain't normal. Yeah, it might flood and everything, but not like this.
10 out of the 19 states in which Bill Gates owns farmland, along with at least another 10, have recently made it legal to dispose of human bodies into the municipal water supply, allowing human remains to be added into biosolid-sourced fertilizer. It's called alkaline hydrolysis and is referred to in pop culture as being very, very green. Spiritual leaders have strongly objected to alkaline hydrolysis because they say it is disrespectful to the human body, the vessel of a divine soul. And it's understandable why they say this. In alkaline hydrolysis, the human body is liquefied with lye and poured down the sewer to mix in with the community's excrement. And if that weren't bad enough, this biosludge is then collected from municipal water treatment plants and used as so-called fertilizer on factory farms. The official excuse is that it saves the government money for expensive toxic waste disposal. Meanwhile, we are all being sold food that has been grown with a toxic biosludge made up of human remains and excrement, which is then loaded with new and strange nanotechnology. Interestingly, the dystopian movie Soylent Green took place in 2022.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent Green is people!
Questions you're not allowed to ask. Why did the owner of the World Trade Center get maximum insurance against terrorist attacks 6 weeks prior to September 11th? Why did the owner have breakfast in the towers every morning except for September 11th? The day before September 11th, Rumsfeld gave a press conference where he talked about trillions of dollars missing.
Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Why was CNN already there before the attacks with a camera crew ready to film? Why was there an unidentified group of short cells purchased against airline companies right before the attacks? Why was every passenger incinerated in the explosion, but the terrorist passport somehow survived? Why was a report published a year before 9/11 by George W. Bush's administration saying they needed to aggressively expand military power worldwide?
Watch how weird this is. People were already starting to leave the US before the verdict on the Didmeister even came out. This is his bodyguard, and supposedly this is him in the courtroom, and we're about to get into all of it. Do y'all happen to remember when all this first went down? I told you nothing would happen because he's a gatekeeper. The same reason that no celebrities would mention his name. And it gets a lot weirder than that, but first, watch this.
Yo, why is all of Hollywood and all the celebrities scared to talk about Diddy? Remember when I told you guys he was a gatekeeper?
Man, how's everything going? Everything good. Hey, is Hollywood going to survive this Diddy thing? Like, we're worried.
Long story short, it happened to all of them. But remember this? They were legit sending private investigators, the feds, to people's houses, the influencers' houses, who were talking about the Didmeister.
Why are they sending private investigators to people's houses to ask influencers?
Get to the bodyguard in a minute. So do y'all remember when everything went down, when the house raid went down, and somehow he knew beforehand he was going to be raided, and he was calling his children talking about take out the something boxes, you know, something you might order on a Friday night, and then how to get rid of the boxes or the packages of that certain kind of food? That kind of food right there. Meanwhile, people are partying outside the courthouse, where he was basically not guilty of most of the big things, all the things that would not allow him to walk away. How easily people forget what all was in this guy's house. All these cameras and all these recordings that just went missing. How easily the general populace forgets things. Like that fella, you know, who passed away in that jail cell, and his list. Yes, his bodyguard left the United States. Completely irrelevant, not related whatsoever. Look how cool and influential the Didmeister is. Man, is there anybody that he does not know? Goodbye.
You're someone seeking truth, but you don't want the full truth. You just want half-truths and just enough truth to keep you distracted and occupied, and not enough truth to really figure out who or where we are or have a full spiritual awakening. Well, follow along. I have just the perfect 3 individuals who will always just give you a little bit of truth and a whole lot of lies. Here are 3 controlled opposition, 3 individuals that all have their own shows that supposedly talk about conspiracies, and they try to get to the bottom of many truths. Joe Rogan, everyone knows him and the Joe Rogan podcast. Sam Tripoli has the Tinfoil Hat podcast. And Ian Carroll, he is big on the scene now. He was just on the Joe Rogan podcast. And well, these are 3 individuals, like I said, that claim to be truth seekers, but they're anything but that. You see, they're just as part of the club as all the celebrities are part of the club. They're just rolled out on a red carpet for the people seeking truth so they can gatekeep the real truth that is going to awaken you to take your power back. And you can see, they always will tell us. Joe with his fingers, and Joe sure looks, we'll get to this, but he sure looks awful feminine in those pictures. And they always tell us with their devil horns and the duality, black and white checkered board, and even the peace sign. They let you know, you just got to be paying attention. Let's just take a closer look at Joe Rogan here, looking awfully feminine with his little earrings and sassy little face. But like I said, they're going to feed you a whole lot of truth, but they're not going to get to the topics that are really going to wake you up. For example, he has Jimi Hendrix sitting right in his background, in Elvis too. And well, if you are any type of truth seeker whatsoever, one of the very early things that you realize is that Jimi Hendrix faked his death and became Morgan Freeman. I mean, it's obvious. I've done a video on it. If you're awake at all, this is something you come across. But he would never talk about this in a million years, because then it awakens you to the fact that there are so many fake deaths in Hollywood and the music industry, and there's so many people playing multiple roles. But he would never talk about this type of thing, just like none of them would ever dare give credence to Flat Earth. Yeah, Sam talks about it once in a while and even claims to be a Christian, but that's what they do. They throw out their fishhook and they reel you in by telling you things that you want to hear so they can make sure to steer you in the directions they want. And this guy, Ian Carroll, he has so many people fooled because he does. He puts out a lot of truth. But the one thing that you know for sure, if someone's just a liar and a gatekeeper, is they mock Flat Earth and they don't give it any credence whatsoever. And well, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast recently, and of course he had to get his 2 punches in on Flat Earth, and I'll let you listen. And before we even get to that, he has even talked about it on his X account and makes fun of Flat Earth because it's easy to explain away that we live on a globe. Guys, I'm not talking to anyone out here that isn't fully awake. I'm talking to people right now who know what I know about the celebrities faking deaths and know what I know about living on a stationary, flat, non-rotating world. He knows that. And he just wants to make sure you don't know that. And let's get to the clip. I mean, you'll see that he and Joe, they always dance around and make sure to make fun of Flat Earth, because Flat Earth is the key to fully awakening and fully taking your power back and fully knowing who's lying to you, like these guys. Oh, and the other thing they all do is they push the alien narrative, because that's what, if you're part of the club, you got to do.
As to your Elon's answer to your alien question the other day, which I understand that you probably couldn't talk about it anyway.
That's how I take all of his answers about aliens.
Yeah. It's like,
okay.
Nice try. I had to try.
All right.
But like,
look, I don't ask him about it off air either.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, you got to respect a man's like private. Like, he's got NDAs up the wazoo for that kind of shit.
Also, he has top secret military clearance and he runs SpaceX.
Bingo.
Yeah, I wouldn't say jack shit.
And that's where Flat Earth
they're
comes
all
in.
real. They're very subtle. That's what I would say too.
It's planned. He's going to talk about
and
it.
I think that Flat Earth, a lot of the evidence that gets cited as Flat Earth, like, for example, NASA fakes footage. And if you look into it, it's fucking obvious that NASA is putting out fake footage. They're clearly on wires in some of that footage. Clearly, some of that footage is underwater, and there's bubbles fucking floating up and shit.
I mean, if you have half a brain, you could see it was set up that he was just waiting for his intro to bring up Flat Earth so he can discredit what people think. Watch the rest.
And if you look into it, it's fucking obvious that NASA is putting out fake footage. They're clearly on wires in some of that footage. Clearly, some of that footage is underwater, and there's bubbles fucking floating up and shit.
Not some.
But
which footage?
Just like NASA publishes all kinds of footage, from like the ISS to they have live streams to they do like videos, and no one ever watches it because like whoever watches random.
So you
NASA
think some
footage,
of the ISS footage is fake?
There's a lot of footage you can find online that is coming from NASA, where there's like little slips, or like a guy is like, they're doing their floating shit, and then the buddy reaches out and grabs where a wire is to help his buddy get back into frame, like little slips of the where they're like just trying to orchestrate. Yeah, and
I've never seen any of that.
And who knows if it's real or
looks
not.
hokey.
Sure.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is that
Like
gets
we all
cited
have.
by flat earthers as like NASA's covering up flat Earth.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is that there's a lot of reasons why NASA would cover up and produce fake footage from something like
because
the
of
ISS, and
aliens.
every single one of them rhymes with aliens. Because if there's any type of aliens going on up here, it's very possible that they are up there in that fucking space station, or they're or like they could be, like, I don't know. And I'm not saying I think they are for sure. I'm just saying that people tend to look at a piece of evidence and jump too quickly on the one explanation that they're sure is right. And sometimes there's other explanations. And aliens apply to so many parts of our world, like demons. Sound very much like the UAP phenomenon to me, right? A lot of these religious beliefs sound very much like explainable, just with different wording, by UAP phenomenon. As in, some of these aliens we seem to be being told that they communicate telepathically. They have energetic ability, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point where I'm suspecting that we're going to be finding out that religion is like humans trying to interpret these phenomenon over millennia in all the human ways we would, and telling stories about them. And I'm not saying that God's not real. I'm saying God is real. And that does not diminish God at all. I almost think it makes God more important and more powerful to understand, because from my understanding, correct me if you have a different one, it sounds like we're getting a lot of reports that are cross-corroborating that there's more than one thing going on here. It's not all aliens are the same, and it's not some of them might be us from the future, some of them might be us from under the water, some of them might be other species. It's really hard to pin down like what all these phenomena are.
This guy is so full
but they're
of dog
definitely
crap.
not just made up.
And I think some of them are ours.
I agree.
I think, I think the cover up is the weird part, though. It's like, if you go back to Operation Blue Book.
Why are they covering it up?
Look,
these guys couldn't be more full of dog crap if you loaded a whole bunch of dog crap down their mouth. Guys, they're part of the agenda. They push the mainstream narrative and with a whole lot of truth around it. But there's a few things like celebrities faking their death that they'll never touch, like flat earth that they'll never admit to, because they can't allow you to know that the people on the TV are lying to you. They can't. They can't do it. That's their job, is to make sure that the people on the TV that you think are being truthful are actually being truthful. The astronauts going to space, the musicians playing their devil music in front of you, all the actors and celebrities who are faking deaths and coming back as other people, all the people that are literally putting the propaganda on the TV, they can't allow you to know that they're all part of this little 666 and duality and Freemason club. They're all Freemasons, Ian Carroll included. So like I said, if you're looking for half-truth and just enough to be distracted, yeah, listen to these guys. But if you want real truth, find some people that are talking about flat earth. And unfortunately, there are some liars in the flat earth community too. But the way
I do like having that discussion with people, talking about flat earth, whether it's flat or round. I don't know. What do you think it is? Flat, round, square?
spot them is because they will also push you away from the Bible and the truth of God, just like Ian Carroll's doing here. I'm not saying God's not
I believe
real.
in God.
Yeah, but it's aliens. They're not telling the truth about the ISS and the footage because of aliens. Okay, Ian, cool story. I just had to end on this. Guys, we're living in a spiritual realm, and the whole point of all of these people is that they're false idols, and you're meant to worship them instead of the Heavenly Father. And the other point of them is to direct you in every single direction but the truth of the Bible. The Bible's literal, and we're living in biblical times right now, and these guys are not the answer. Seek truth, not through them. Open up a Bible, see how true it is. Of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I'm sure Joe just looks super feminine because that was the style in the day. Entertainment only.
I've often said I have not seen a new graveyard in my lifetime.
I talk about this all the time. Where are all the graves? As many people are gone, a lot of them are not marked anymore. But why aren't we? It just doesn't add up. The math ain't mathing. It's weird.
I've never heard about a graveyard being too full to accept new bodies, too. So you would think that there would have to be a lot of them that would say, nope, no vacancy here. So where are the bodies?
Yeah. I'm in. I'm so in. In a town, like how many cemeteries can you really have before it's like, hey, the town has grown and we need to now bury the people who die here over there somewhere? And what are we doing with all these bodies?
What percentage of people are cremated? 60%.
Whoa, I never would have guessed that.
But still.
That still leaves 40%.
Right, how many people? Look at how many people die in the U.S. a year.
2023. 3 million people roughly.
So there's 1.8 million bodies.
No, that were cremated.
Yeah, 1.2 million bodies are buried
per year.
Where? I've never seen a new graveyard.
They're not like, hey, new graveyard, grand opening.
Yeah, no,
First body.
Which they shouldn't.
Jesus never existed. And if he did, he most certainly wasn't God. And the Bible is just a system of control. Because if there were really only one God, well, why are there so many religions? If you have said or thought any of these things, well, I got news for you. They have you exactly where they want you. You see, the rabbit hole goes deep, real deep, and I applaud a lot of you for venturing down it. There are some of you that think you're to the bottom, and you're not. And I'm going to show you. This isn't going to be a video for people still plugged in. This is one for people that are unplugged but didn't connect the dots. This is for people that have crumbled the narrative of where they tell us we live, and they know, but have missed the signs and missed the intentionality and the true reason that they showed us and told us and brainwashed us with that. This is a video for people that know we live under a firmament, but maybe missed the fact that it's been removed from 99% of Bibles. This is a video for people that know that dragons existed and that dinosaurs didn't, and that we literally walk on their remains, even down to their jagged teeth, and they like to always tell us right in plain sight.
I saw some of his videos on the dragons. Some of them are fascinating. Makes you wonder, but I still find it hard to believe, but anything's possible.
But maybe you missed how dragons are mentioned in the Bible over 30 times. This is a video for my friends that know that 10 to 25 foot giants walked this realm, and that the Smithsonian once upon a time covered it up and were even sued and forced to release that information to the public. And it's for my friends that knew that once upon a time much, much bigger giants walked this earth. These are mountains, and these are those same mountains. But maybe you missed how giants are talked about in the Bible more than 80 times. The big variety and the small. Now, why would they go to such lengths to hide such specific phenomenon from us? You can control a population with giants and dragons and even the firmament existing. But how many of us out there, if we knew from the very beginning that giants and dragons and the firmament were real, would have questioned the Bible? Why are they making such specific efforts to disprove these things talked about in the Bible? Why are they banning the name of Jesus in NASA buildings? But not only NASA buildings.
Greg Renrich, that was one of the things that he told me. He's the one that was talking about seeing the giants in the deep underground military bases. He said that one of the first things that they had to do before he was allowed to go into S4 or S20 or any of the others, they made him sign an affidavit saying, you're not allowed to use the name Jesus Christ in these underground facilities, not even if you stub your toe or anything. And
why did they all worship the devil if the Bible is just a bunch of nonsense? They're not doing it just for show. They're all showing their allegiance.
I was always told that if you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. So the other way around, correct? If you believe that there's a devil, Satan, whatever, Lucifer, then there's got to be a God. There has to be a Jesus. I mean, makes sense, doesn't it?
And they mock Jesus every chance they get. You see, the reason they
do.
put you on here and make you believe that this is where we live, and that you started as that and turned into all of these and then turned into that, it's not just to control you. It's to make you think that God and Jesus and the Bible don't exist. They want to take you out of a spiritual realm and put you in a spinning scientific explained through biology and Big Bang ball. Because if you don't know spirituality exists and you don't know you're in a spiritual realm, well, then it's a lot easier to miss the fact that God is real. And at the very bottom of the deepest, darkest rabbit hole sit the fallen angels. And if they can convince you that all of this is true, well, then they can convince you that God and the Bible and Jesus is all a bunch of nonsense. And I'm living, breathing proof of that because I believed in all of this. And then I decided to seek truth. And you know what I found? I found that they were very specifically hiding facts in here that are undeniable. And once you know that, and once you know that the fallen angels are real, well then you found the bottom of the rabbit hole. And you look to the Bible for answers instead of thinking it's fiction. And well, when you come across this verse, that they were ruled by a king, the angel of the abyss, his name in Hebrew is Abaddon. They were ruled by a king, and his name was Abaddon. That MAGA king who just happens to be the 45th and the 47th president. 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 7 is 11. 9, 11. Did you happen to catch what verse that was in the Bible? Revelation 9:11. So like I said in the beginning, if you think Jesus didn't exist or isn't God and that the Bible is just a method of control, well, they have you right where they want you. You may as well go back to living on a ball as an evolved tadpole. Because if you know all of this, yet you still think Jesus is the psyop, well, my friends, you're very, very confused. But of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. I'm sure they just hid all of this specific to the Bible and mock Jesus and don't allow the name of Jesus in NASA buildings and deep underground military bases, and that Jesus literally gets rid of spiritual attacks by calling out his name because of coincidence. I'm a satire account here to entertain, entertainment only.
Touche.
You guys,
I like
I
that
feel
one.
like I live in a fucking sci-fi movie. CERN's Large Hadron Collider officially kicked off its 2025 physics data taking campaign. This Hadron Collider is the largest, most powerful particle accelerator on Earth. It smashes protons and ions together at incredible speeds, so no wonder portals are opening and people are experiencing crazy things. Since the latest activation on June 5th, people have been reporting crazy phenomenon all over the world. From strange swirling clouds to unexplained light phenomenon, beings exiting these portals, brief fleeting glimpses of impossible things. It's like reality is distorting. If you feel off or if you've seen things that don't make sense, it makes sense now. No wonder this is happening when these people are fucking dabbling with things that they shouldn't be dabbling with. They're messing with our time-space, opening these dimensions, portals, weird things. I have seen some fucked up videos, you guys. If you haven't seen, just search portals 2025, June, Florida, and everything else. I'm talking about masses, black masses that seem very demonically weird. Unbelievable stuff. Objects are disappearing and reappearing in front of people's very eyes. And a lot of people feel a heightened sense of unease, like something is not right. And I don't know about you, but I feel oddly tired lately. I am so tired, I can't get enough sleep. That is not me. I am 32 years old. I should not be feeling like I'm struggling to stay awake during the day. Everything feels so off. And don't get me started about this wildfire smoke from Canada. I live in the Midwest and everything is just, it feels so surreal. Something is seriously not right. If you guys have any evidence of your own, please send it to me. I would love to see it and share your evidence. I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, stay spooky, and I'll see you guys later with another spooky video. And I'll have lots of updates and lots of creepy stories to share with you and videos on this stuff. I'll post a couple videos that I found tomorrow so that I can share with you what I'm talking about. Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye.
Have you all been feeling off balance, tired, exhausted, like you can't get enough sleep, hurting, just in a bad way? Let me know. The hell is that? Some number. I don't know what that was.
Have you seen this video where Bill Hader literally shapeshifts into
was
Tom
weird.
Cruise and then Seth Rogen? Check it out.
And I go, yeah, you know, I'm friends with Judd Apatow and Seth Rogen, and they went to your house. And went, yes. They did come to my house. And I said, Seth Rogen was like, you know, it was amazing. He has like a bike track in his backyard. It's phenomenal. and I did a Seth Rogen impression, and it was like I did a magic trick. Tom Cruise was like, yeah.
I don't mean to be rude, but I cannot tell you how many people have sent this to me telling me to check it out because Bill Hader is a shapeshifter. But it doesn't take much research, people. Not at all. To just go find the original clip.
And I go, yeah, you know, I'm friends with Judd Apatow and Seth Rogen, and they went to your house. And went, yes. They did come to my house. And I said, Seth Rogen was like, you know, it was amazing. He has like a bike track in his backyard. It's phenomenal. and I did a Seth Rogen impression, and it was like I did a magic trick. Tom Cruise was like, yeah.
No shape-shifting, just AI or a good filter. And people have been sending this to me for 2 years. And for 2 years, I've been saying it's just a filter.
It was weird.
And look, I realize that was a little bit ahead of time for what most people think that AI has come out with. But AI has been here for thousands of years.
Yeah, it's more advanced
They wrote
than what we get.
history textbooks. AI isn't new. They're just slowly releasing it to the public, but they've been using it forever. And I'm not even saying shape-shifting doesn't exist. I'm just saying this isn't it. Bill Hader could very well be a shapeshifter, but if you want real instances of shape-shifting, let me show you.
Clint Eastwood.
Wait. Now this is real shape-shifting. Yeah, Jim Carrey can do impersonations, but his head and his hair and his ears, it's moving in ways that isn't normal. I truly think they have holographic technology.
At that part right there, I think it's a little out of bounds because I can make my head move. I can make my ears move. I can do things like that. My kids like watching me do it, but that's a little far-fetched on that part.
Technology that can disguise them and allow them to get away with
I try to
things
keep it real.
they shouldn't be able to get away with. Like fully disguising their faces or shape-shifting to other characters. Just watch how some of this moves. That's shape-shifting. And I have a couple more examples I'm going to show you. And what is he? He's a fallen angel.
I agree.
I put a lot of money that Jim Carrey is an
Not on this one, I don't.
angel. And have you ever seen when John McCain saw General Petraeus shapeshift? I'll show you the whole thing and then get back to this.
About the message we are sending in the region, about whether we're actually going to stay or not, and whether we're going to do what's necessary to succeed rather than set an arbitrary timeline. And the best way to...
Shocked. Shocked. Oh my God, they're so good. Because he's shapeshifting. And they're hiding him. They're hiding him.
We're going to recess now for a few moments.
Hide him. Okay. Now, I've done a full video on this, but watch his face. He's morphing, shape-shifting, and when he walks away, there's even more. And again, another video I've already done in full is Elvis shape-shifting after he kisses this little girl. And weird things start happening, like his hands glitching out. And not only him, but this guy that walks around behind him. This guy. Watch this. I'll show you closer. Watch when he walks back here. It's subtle.
This one was weird. Pay attention to this.
It goes from that to that to that.
It's wild.
They tell us in the movies. And if this isn't weird enough for you, or Elvis's eyes bugging out, well, tie it all in to this clip I found. Again, maybe a clip of them telling us who he is right in plain sight. I'm going to
What
make this
the hell?
for you for the 1000th time.
I like
Statue
Elvis
of
too.
Liberty is actually Lucifer. It's as clear as day once you just give it a little look. And the Statue of Liberty had an original face that matched somebody, and they changed it so you wouldn't know who that statue was worshiping. And that guy you think died, he didn't die. He just faked it and became someone else. Someone that a lot of you are still worshiping. And that's where they want you. They want you worshiping the fallen instead of the Most High. I mean, look at that hair even, for crying out loud. But of course all this for entertainment purposes, people. I know there aren't really shapeshifters out there, and I especially know people don't fake their death and become other people. And they definitely don't tell us the truth right in plain sight, and shapeshifting fallen angels definitely aren't among us. All for entertainment purposes. I'm a satire account, and this has been for your entertainment only.
That was pretty crazy. That's the end of the video. Man, there was a lot of them on there. That Elvis one really got me pretty good that time. I didn't know that. It was a weird video. But I hope you enjoyed the video if you made it this far. I hope you like and subscribe. We're trying to get back into it now. Just had a lot of problems here lately. But thanks for watching, and I'll see